Hello friends, my name's James, and this is my 1965 Albert 30 sloop SV Tritea. I have been slowly sailing around the world since leaving Los Angeles in 2021. Since that time, I've covered more than 17,000 nautical miles, from the Hawaiian Islands to French Polynesia, New Zealand to Australia, and more. I crossed the largest ocean on the planet solo. Join me as I continue my way through Southeast Asia, exploring its jungles, seeing its wildlife, and experiencing cultures far different from my own. This is the magic of seeing the world by sail. Good morning from Belitung North. Today, I've hired a car and a driver, and he's going to take us to the city. I'm not sure the name of it, but it's like the big built-up area on this island. We need to get provisions, we need to get water, maybe some petrol, or gas, as they call it in America. Also want to stop by this really interesting shop that on No Foreign Land, it says it sells fishing gear, firearms, and boat parts. So I want to pop in there, have a peekaboo, see what I can get. Got to just get everything restocked for this last final push to Singapore and Malaysia. We're like 395 miles from Singapore, so about a week's worth of passages to get there. It was a huge, crazy squall the other day. The one where I got trapped on shore. And once I got back to the boat, the bow chock was ripped off. So now I'm missing both my bow chocks. One got ripped off in a big storm in Lombok during the wet season. And then now I lost this one. The snubber was going through it and ripped it off, split my tow rail. So my tow rail split on both sides. I got that repaired on both sides now. So I lost that. Huge storm, crazy thunder, lightning, like just sort of like biblical amounts of rainfall. From that moment on, my house battery bank, my lithium bank, started doing weird stuff. It would just like blink. So it would shut down for like 60 seconds and then come back online. The first time it happened was when I tried to use... Well, first time it happened, all I had plugged in was my iPad and the Starlink. That was... And one 12-volt fan. That was all, the only charge on the whole thing. Even my fridge is down right now, so I didn't even have a draw for my fridge. So that was all that was charging, and it made my whole system blink, shut down, and come back online. I was like, whoa, that's strange. So I shut off the Starlink and stuff and watched it and tested to put the voltmeter on different stuff. Everything seemed fine. I went ahead and plugged in my little generator. I think you can see it. That night, because I was like, well, maybe it's... And it said that I had 90% charge based on the voltage. So I was like, well, maybe it's a wrong reading on the monitor, so maybe it's a little low, so I'll go ahead and put the generator on, top up the batteries. Put the generator on, and within an hour, it said it was topped up. So, so then while the generator's running, I was like, oh, I might as well make dinner. Put on my electric galley. Well, I turned on the inverter for my electric galley. As soon as I hit the button on the thing, the whole boat went dark. Everything shut down instantly. And I was like... So I turned everything off. Managed to like re-jump start the system. I removed all the load and then turned the shore power back on from the generator, and that woke up the BMS for the lithium bank. So it came back online. Still showed it had full voltage. It was super weird. So I just unplugged the back of my galley, plugged it into the generator, and made dinner straight from the generator to the electric galley. Yesterday, And then, so I haven't been using my electric galley on it at all. I've just been keeping an eye on it. It's been topping up to 14 volts every day with the sun and everything. Yesterday, it blinked like 3 times. It kept shutting down for a second or whatever. And now, as soon as everything first happened, I wrote Ryan and everyone at Dakota Lithium and explained what was happening and asked their advice. And so, yeah, yesterday it blinked like 3 times, and I went through everything. I pulled off the links. I tested the volts on everything. You know, I couldn't get my head around what was happening. And in doing all that, I actually found what I believe is a blown fuse for the B2B, which is like the alternator sending it to the house bank. That hasn't been charging for like almost a year. Little less than a year. It happened in Indonesia. It stopped charging. But I had forgotten that links panel underneath had its own fuses. So switch that, so we'll see if the alternator is back to charging the house bank when we do our next motor bit. So that was a good find, but everything I tested seemed like it was fine, but I kept getting this crazy stuff happening with the house bank. So then I was pretty stressed. So then last night I was trying to get my head around it, and because I was nervous about, I need batteries to get out of here the next 400 miles, right? So then I realized last night, I was like, oh, when I go to town today, I'll just buy a 12-volt car battery, and that'll be my emergency house system. It'll be easy to wire up and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and do that today as a backup. But Ryan, and last night going through everything in my head, I was like, I wonder if one of the batteries is failing, and that's what's like stressing out the system. And sure enough, when it became morning in America, Ryan emailed me and said it's very possible that one of the batteries has failed. So, and maybe maybe it was like a near lightning strike or something, because, like, you know, it started immediately after that giant storm with lightning and everything. So, and I've had a lot of friends here in Indonesia have really strange stuff fry on their boat. Not everything fry, just random things fry when there was like serious lightning happening all around. I know like 4 boats that's happened to. So anyway, so today I unhooked it, and I thought it may be one of the batteries. I thought it would be battery number 2, if it was anything, because that one's more exposed where there can be water get down in there or something like that. But they're waterproof batteries, but it was actually the other one. It was the one that was in a more protected spot. Once I took everything off, and it was toasted. And so now I have the good one is just hooked up. So I'm running off one 200 amp hour Dakota Lithium battery. Now I love these batteries. They're fantastic. I've had them for 3 years. Those dudes are rad, like, you know, and like the batteries have an 11-year warranty and stuff. So Ryan's already like organizing to get me new batteries when I get to Malaysia. We had talked about doing a battery upgrade anyway, so the timing works out on the whole thing. But so hopefully this one battery holds me until I get to Malaysia, where I can actually do some stuff. But I am gonna go ahead and spend like $100 or $200 US on a battery here, like a lead acid battery that I just keep on the boat as a backup for the house bank. So that's where we're at. Today we're gonna go ashore and get in a car with a local driver who's going to take us around. Now I found his number on No Foreign Land, gives his WhatsApp. Other cruisers have used this dude. And we negotiated a price. The price on No Foreign Land said it was $500,000, which is, I don't know, like $30 or something. He tried to say, oh, that's the old price. It's now $600,000. And I was like, why? How did it go up in less than a year? And in Bali and Lombok, it's $400,000 for a full day. And he's like, okay, $500,000 is fine. So You can't let these dudes overcharge you, because what they do is then the next cruiser, they're going to double overcharge them. So you got to hold them to the fire and not let them hose you on it. So that's what we're going to do. Head to town, get some provisions, supplies, and I'm going to take you along to see what I see. Okay, I got everything, almost everything I needed. We'll go through it all when I get back to the boat. My buddies Rick and Chantal from SV Shameless are coming over with their big hard bottom dinghy to help me transport the water and stuff, maybe the petrol. Little Gary has his limitations. So now it's time for me to get it packed up. Ahoy! How's it going? Much appreciated for the help.
Where'd you have to go?
Went all the way to town.
Oh, right.
Rick and Chantal from Shameless
Greetings.
coming to help me.
Move some water.
My little dinghy is modest, so. So grateful for friends that'll help me. Makes it a lot easier. I could have done it in like 4 trips, but super grateful. These guys are so sweet. Alright, today was a mad dash into town, kind of chaotic. So I thought I'd wait and show you everything I got when I got back here. A little more controlled, less chaos. Some people always ask to see like what I get, you know, in stores, food, yada yada, all that stuff. So I thought this was a good opportunity to show you what I picked up. It's limited here, what you can get provision wise. It's tricky. It's even trickier for me because my fridge is no longer working. So those are all things that play into it. Okay, so I got a dozen more eggs. I have 2 of these egg carriers. This one's broken, so they tied it off for me, which is very kind of them. I carried these in. A lot of places here, the eggs are just loose, so you need to bring your own carrier or risk them breaking, getting them back to the boat. So I got a dozen more eggs. I have just shy of a dozen already also, so 2 dozen eggs almost. I got some cabbage. Cabbage is good on the boat because you can keep it in a bag in a dark place. You don't have to keep it in the fridge. A nice crisp, you know, crispy crunch, something fresh, and it keeps pretty well if you keep it in the dark, wrapped up in a bag. I keep it under the V-berth. I got some Fuji apples, which is nice. Haven't seen apples in a while. I got, yes, it's Indonesia, so everything is in its own plastic bag because they love plastic here. Some tomatoes, fresh tomatoes, very good. Got some potatoes. Got a giant thing of these baby corns. Let me tell you, these things are like so delicious. Oh, they're like sweet like candy. Super good. I'll probably eat all of these in like 3 days. And I got some oranges. Also, again, they love soft plastic. They can't be recycled in Indonesia. I got some fun stuff. I got some Pringles. Got some baby Pringles. These ones are better than these ones when you can find them because they don't go stale. You know, you end up like going through a whole little tub. So, Pringles catch there. So there's my Pringles business. Got some little fun cookies. Some more fun cookies. It's always good to keep like fun snacks on the boat because I end up having to cook the same things over and over again, especially now my galley's like compromised as far as like what I can cook. So, and no fridge, I'm like really limited in what I can do. I also tend to eat for utility, so, but it's nice to have something fun when your mouth is bored. Got these weird things, I have no idea. Sometimes you just try weird stuff. It says, I don't know what it says. It's actually in the hostel. Got some coffee. Toilet paper. Now I'll show you the funny thing about toilet paper in Indonesia because they always like to try to rip you off when they can. Here's the toilet paper rolls, but look how big the hole is so they don't give you as much. Classic Indonesia behavior. And I got like half a dozen more ramen. These are actually mie goreng, which is like fried noodles, you know. So 6 of those. Add to that, I already have a bunch also. I got a bunch of these. Since I can't have milk in the fridge, I get these little oat milk boys so that I can have cereal in the mornings. Which is a bummer waste-wise, you know, as far as the packaging goes, but I don't have a fridge, so it's either do without or do this. So I do this. Got a couple coconut waters. Good, nice, hydrating goodness. And I got some dates, delicious. I also got, well, I have like concerns about the batteries, as I'd mentioned. So far so good. Since I disconnected the dead one, this one seems to be fine. But I was just worried about if I do lose all power and it doesn't come back on. I went and got one of the Indonesian style anchor lights. So this thing flashes red. This one is red and blue, flashing LED light. And this is the common anchor light for all Indonesian vessels. And not even only anchor light, but a boat light when you'll see them out. And this is like their nav light, sort of. So this is very common and also very visible to them, to the local fishing boats. They might not look up and see my anchor light because it's so high in the sky compared to what they're used to. So this is a good identifier for them. Takes like D batteries, so I got a bunch of D batteries to go with it. We can test it out. I don't know how, maybe it just, oh, it might have like a cat eye, so it might not come on. It says on the box that this one battery lasts 360 hours or something, which is crazy. Yeah, it must have a photo sensor so that it doesn't come on in the daylight. But I'll film it tonight when it comes on and show you what it looks like. So that's handy, that's good. Like, you know, and even in like heavy boat traffic areas, I might just put this out on in my fishing rod holder, just so that they can easily see me if I'm in like a, you know, an anchorage with like a lot of fishing boat traffic. I got all the fishermen here have these crazy bright headlamps. Like, they're just so bonkers. They're so bright. So I bought one of those. This thing is like Mondo. Crazy bright. Just like. So this is good. This is like a good safety thing. And it's rechargeable. So as I'm cruising around, you know, I can shine the light. Because they always shine these lights at you to let you know that they're there. So now I have one just as powerful as theirs to shine back. And this thing was like, I don't remember the price. It was like nothing. It was like $5 US or something. Super cheap. Really cheap.
If you enjoy the content on this channel and would like to contribute, you can consider joining the Patreon crew. Thanks for watching. Fair winds until next time.